Welcome back to 30 Days to Nirvana. Yesterday, we did a meditation on letting go of fear and desire. Today, we're going to be moving into a series of meditations on the nature of self. By investigating the nature of self, we will be able to let go of this concept that we have that we, as individuals, are separate from the universe. We'll be able to let go of that thing that we call ego, and we'll be able to let go of the mother of all fears, that is, the fear of death. The fear of death is literally the mother of all fears. It gives birth to all of our fears. If you're afraid of flying, really you're not afraid of flying, you're afraid of crashing and dying. If you're afraid of the ocean, you're not afraid of the ocean, you're afraid of drowning and dying. If you're afraid of social situations, it's not that you're afraid of the social situations, you're afraid of being ostracized from the group, being cast out and dying on your own. The fear of death truly is the mother of all fears. And when we can get beyond and transcend the fear of death, all the other fears become much less distracting, much less powerful. Now, in order to transcend the fear of death, we're not going to pretend that we don't die. Everyone dies. You will one day die. This is very important to realize. This is actually an important meditation on its own. Memento Mori, remember death. The Buddhists also meditate on death. And the reason is that if you remember that you will one day die, it helps you to appreciate every moment of being alive. So we're not running away from the idea of death. Rather, we run into it, we run toward it, and we realize, okay, one day this body will die. And that can be scary, but it's only scary as long as you believe that you ever existed in the first place. It's only scary as long as you believe that there is a you to die. We have this concept of ourselves as discrete beings, these entities that exist from birth to death. So let us examine the nature of self. Who are you, really? Are you the body? Well, consider that the body is constantly exchanging material with the environment. Even as we sit here in our meditation positions, watching the breath flowing in and out, this air is outside in this great sea of air around us. And then it comes in through the nostrils into the respiratory system, down into the lungs, and then oxygen is absorbed through the alveoli of the lungs into the bloodstream, and it becomes attached to the hemoglobin molecules in the red blood cells, and then that oxygen ends up getting used to create energy in your body. So is that air part of you? Is that oxygen part of you? Where does the body end and the outside begin? Are you your thoughts? Well, your thoughts are constantly changing. If you change your mind about something, or if a belief changes, or if you find out some new information, or if you forget something, does that mean that you're a fundamentally changed, different person? The body and the thoughts are both constantly in flux, constantly changing. If you are some kind of a discrete entity that lasts from birth to death, then you're certainly not your body or your thoughts, because those are constantly changing. From a baby to an adult to an old person, the body is very, very different. All of the thoughts are quite different between the baby, the adult, and the old person. So if you are some kind of stable entity that lasts from birth to death, it is not the body and it is not the thoughts. So that leaves consciousness, the experiencer of the body and the experiencer of the thoughts, the pure, empty space in which all experience arises, consciousness. And this can be a reasonable definition of self. It is the I. I hear, I see, I smell, I taste. When I use the word I, I'm talking about the consciousness which experiences everything, experiences the mind and the body. So, are you consciousness? Is that what you are? Is that who you are? Is that the being that exists from birth to death? That which you call I? Well, according to modern neuroscience, consciousness is a momentary phenomenon. It arises in a similar way to the way that light arises in a light bulb when an electrical current goes through the light bulb. As long as the electrical current is going through the filament, energy is released as light. In the same way, as long as electricity is running through the body, consciousness arises. I had an experience one time. I was riding my motorbike in Thailand, and I was coming around a curve, maybe a little too fast, and a pickup truck was coming around the other side of the curve. It was a blind curve, and we collided, and I went tumbling through the air, and I landed on the ground in a spot where there was nobody around. And as soon as I hit the ground, I opened my eyes, and I was surrounded by people, and there were people standing around trying to help me. I was just so confused. How are all these people here? Where did they come from? And I didn't find out until the next day that I had been knocked out, apparently, for 15 or 20 minutes. But I hadn't experienced that time. It was just crash, fly through the air, land on the ground, there are people around. The time between the crash and waking up on the ground didn't exist for me because there was no consciousness. Consciousness is a momentary phenomenon. So if even consciousness is momentary, then who are you? Let's take a few minutes to meditate on that now. So just get into your meditation position if you're not in it already, and close your eyes. Focus on your breathing as the breathing flows in and out of the body. Who are you? What is this being that exists from birth to death? Can you find it? I'll see you on the other side. Welcome back. I hope you had a nice meditation. Did you find this entity, this being that lasts from birth to death? The process of self-inquiry, the process of introspecting and looking for this self is an ancient Hindu technique to show the meditator beyond a shadow of a doubt that he or she does not exist, at least as a discrete entity that's separate from the universe. This technique can be called neti neti neti, which means not this, not this, not this. We go inside and we look for something that is stable, that lasts from birth to death, and we don't find it. So if you want to take another few minutes now, you can practice this technique of neti neti neti. Look inside, look for something, some part of you that you can call I, that actually lasts from birth to death. I'll see you on the other side. Welcome back. Now that we've explored a little bit into the nature of self, we can let go of this illusion of ego, of a separate self that is separate from the universe around us. And we can realize that if we use the word I, or me, or self, that we're really referring to more of a concept than a real thing. And once we recognize that, once we realize that self is really just an illusion in the mind, then death becomes much less scary, because there's really no one here to die in the first place. As our consciousness arises and passes away in every moment, as electricity arises in the body and the brain and dissipates just as quickly in each moment, we are born, and in each moment we die. So you have died an infinite number of times already, just since this body was born. So there's really nothing to worry about for that last moment of consciousness of this body, because it's just like any other moment. The arising of consciousness and the passing away of consciousness. A new experiencer in every moment of consciousness. So, as for our question, who are you? Really, it comes down to how you define yourself. You can define yourself as a body, this body. You can define yourself as your mind. You can define yourself as your consciousness. You could even define yourself as the universe if you want to, when you refer to yourself. But the most important thing is to keep in mind and to remember that when we use these words like I, me, you, that we're really just referring to a concept, and that these are not real beings in reality, that really this is all just the universe. This is all just existence. Be sure to join us tomorrow as we delve into the experience of being consciousness. If you like this meditation, please click the like button. If you want to see more meditations like this, subscribe. Feel free to share this video with your friends on social media, or leave a comment below if you have any questions or anything that you'd like to say. Thank you so much for joining me in this meditation. Namaste. May you be well.